Hey, good afternoon. This is Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing, back again for Social Media Pie, where I interview amazing people in my network. And the PIE is an acronym. It stands for Inspiring People Who Are Here to Inform and Educate You. So Sarah Harfield is my special guest today. Sarah, how are you doing today?
Hurrah! I was thinking it was an actual piece of pie. I'm quite excited. I was thinking, oh, yes.
I should have like a piece of pie that I like bring on, and we have a frozen pie. I just saw it in our freezer a little while ago. It's a strawberry rhubarb pie that I have to bake, but the problem is if I bake it, I'm probably the only person in the whole household that will eat it, so I'll just be eating a lot of pie. And that's the struggle. The struggle is real right now.
That's very true. I'm not sure I'm going to make it outside of the front door when they, or through the front door actually, when they let us out. But yeah, no, the pie is a nice thought, though. I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to have some fun. And you and I think, are both about fun. And I just want to take a moment before we get started in the discussion. We are now live streaming on LinkedIn and Facebook. If you happen to be watching, I'm going to actually just throw a little reminder up on the screen here. To add a comment below, let us know where in the world you're watching us from. Sarah and I are both in Michigan, in the United States. Sometimes we have viewers watching us from all around the world. So let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Macomb County. Sarah, are you in Troy, or what area are you in?
I'm in Troy. Yes, we live in Troy. Obviously, not originally from around here, but I don't know. I think the accent gives it away. People say I have an accent.
There's something there. There's something there for sure.
I never had an accent until I came to America, and suddenly.
The darndest thing. So before we jump into the conversation, guys, we are in very, I've heard the descriptive and adjective, not normal times and unprecedented times, and so many words and phrases, and it's very stressful, and it's nothing like this has ever happened to us ever before, and hopefully never will again, but it can be a very traumatic time. But I think even in times like these, it is important for us to support one another, and that's part of the reason I continue to do this interviewing series. And Sarah's topic, when I asked her to come out and join me today, I said, what do you want to talk about? And she said, entertainment and business, right? And I'm like, it's perfect for Sarah in her category. But I want to remind you, even in the times that we're in right now, businesses still need entertainment. We still need to inspire one another. We still need to laugh, and we still need to smile. Yeah. And when businesses return to normal, there will be a need for folks like Sarah. And maybe even right now, there might be a need for her in your organization to help to remind people about being happy and, just the teamwork element of all of that comes with it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that, there's no doubt about it that laughter releases endorphins.
Yeah.
And my partner in crime, who I work with both in business and in life, will always say that those release of endorphins help tenfold. Absolutely tenfold. We bond together, and through laughter we can learn as well. We inspire, we motivate, and that's what we're all about.
Awesome. And so as we get into this conversation, so Sarah and I, we've met through the Troy Chamber of Commerce. So a little plug for the Troy Chamber of Commerce. If you're not already checking out that organization, check them out. And they're actually doing a great series right now of Zoom online sessions. And I think, Sarah, it was probably wasn't it just through one of their regular online networking, or was there a focused topic or speaker? I think it was just like a happy hour session that we were on.
I think it was. I think there was the Women's Business Forum. We met there as well.
That's right. Yep.
Running events there, and I've hosted a few events for them. The Top of Troy, I've moderated, and I think we were there for some of them. So over the years, several times we've come across each other, Brenda. Yeah, you're a star. You're a star.
You're a star, Sarah.
In the world of LinkedIn and business, you know your stuff. People come to you for their media and how to deal with this format.
Well, it's crazy times for sure. So what I'd like to do to kind of get started, Sarah, for those viewers who may not know who you are and what your business is all about, why don't you take a minute or two to talk a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into our subject of entertainment and business.
Okay, well, my background originally was in London, England, in advertising. I set my first business up at 30. It was an internet business sending out gifts, that sort of thing. I sold that when I came to the US, and then I joined my life partner, Keith Fields, with him on stage. Keith is a professional stand-up comic, magician, and speaker. Cool. all over the world doing that sort of thing, and I will bring him in later to do a little magic for you.
Guest cameo joining us here today. That's
when we became empty nesters, there was also that time to think, what are we doing again? We need to reinvent ourselves. And as you know, as an entrepreneur, you're always reinventing yourselves. And so we set up a theatre show together, which we tour with, called The Brit of Magic. Obviously not working right now. And we also run here in Metro Detroit the only comedy magic dinner theatre out of Camp Ticonderoga. So we run that as well, and then we do all sorts of talks on communications and how to be a better presenter. Because at the end of the day, Brenda, we're on stage all the time. You learn so much about presenting. And now, as you know, with this LinkedIn Live, which you've been doing for a while, but you've got this little platform right here, and that's where you're going to sell yourself, and that's when you're going to market yourself. So we talk about that as well.
Awesome. So Sarah, have you shifted at all? I mean, I know like all the in-person events have been canceled because of social distancing and what's happening here in Michigan and throughout the world, but have you shifted it all to online? Are you having any requests right now for your services through Zoom or through webinars at all?
We're having lots of requests for joining personal private parties to do a little bit of comedy and magic, to actually just come into a family Zoom. They may be a birthday party they're celebrating and they'll ask us to come in, do a little magic and comedy. And then of course, corporates are still holding their training seminars, that sort of thing. So we'll go in and speak on presentation. Our material has changed just slightly because of the format. We've done some things for the local television stations. In fact, we're on tomorrow morning doing a little bit on
Are you?
I can't remember what it is tomorrow. Yeah, WXYZ. We'll do that at 9:45 tomorrow.
Okay, so I want to repeat that. So that was WXYZ.
Yeah, which is channel 7. Yeah, at 9:45.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll be sure to check it out. Hopefully, I'll catch it on TV. If not, hopefully they'll post it afterwards, and you can share the link out with us. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no trouble at all. So yes, our calling, as it were, has changed. But our format hasn't. We're still there providing good quality entertainment. And that's the difference, I think, Brenda, between a professional and, your mate who can just tell a few jokes. You want the person who's tried and tested material. When you have a speaker, you know this, what is your value? It's hard to tell right now, but essentially you are still the professional. You have oodles of experience and knowledge, and your material isn't just made up on the spur of the moment. It is tried and tested. You know what you're talking about. And so that's a really important point to get across. But the theatre world and the elephant in the room for the entertainment world, we are on live once a week with theatres across the country, magic theatres, of which there are many, from LA to California. Well, obviously, LA is in California. Sorry to New York. My job straight up. You've got the Chicago Magic Lounge. You've got the House of Cards down in Tennessee, and we all get together once a week and talk about when are we going to be holding shows again. And it's a hard one.
What are you hearing right now? I mean, are there people speculating yet, or is it still kind of a wait and see? Is it feeling like summer? Is it feeling like fall to you? What are you thinking?
Well, so my friends and colleagues who work the fairs and festivals in Michigan alone, and there's a huge variety of entertainers who do that, are watching show after show after show be cancelled, as other festivals being cancelled.
Right.
For the theatres in Vegas, we have a lot of very dear friends who are not sure when they'll work again.
Oh boy, yeah.
But we also have a lot of entrepreneurial friends who are creating online shows, and they are doing amazing jobs. They really are. Yeah. So people are speculating. We're quite excited about holding the venue back up at Camp Ticonderoga because it's small. Yeah. Eventually we do open up. We can space the tables out. You're watching a live show.
And it's a smaller venue. You don't have thousands and thousands. Now, if I'm remembering Camp Ticonderoga, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, not spelling it, sorry. That's in Troy. Is it on Rochester Road? What are the crossroads around?
That's right, Rochester and Long Lake.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm like a local, Brenda.
You are. You know where I'm going. Isn't that the place that bakes the homemade chocolate chip cookies?
Yes.
You have to order them when you sit down, though, and then they bring out a plate of freshly baked cookies for dessert after your meal. Is that the place?
That's the place. It's just awesome from the point of view of any, calories you'd like to lose. But we take their upstairs room and we host about 60 up there.
Okay.
And again, we can make that smaller and we can adapt for what people want. Some people will want to go out. We have a gorgeous, our lovely daughter who's a Gen Z who's like, oh, well, what's the big deal? Let's all go out. I can't see it.
They're feeling like the younger people aren't feeling like they're as worried about catching it, because, you know, the statistics are that the young people aren't catching it and that it's not severe for them. But, you know, you and I, Sarah, we've been around the block for a few years here, and, you know, even then we could be carriers for it, so we're trying to be careful. But I like the thought of, you know, the smaller venue. I think those are probably going to bounce back first before the larger venues. I would imagine I would feel more comfortable going to a Camp Taekwondo where I can be 6 feet apart on a table versus flying out to Vegas and getting on a plane and then staying in a hotel and being in a room with thousands of people and walking around. I mean, I can just imagine. I think we pulled back society, you know, it was pretty quickly, but we had to all, like, you know, adjust to it. And then we adjusted. And now when the world opens back up again, or even as we're trying to work through the process of expanding back into society with social distancing, we're going to have to figure out, how do we feel comfortable? And even though I'm going to tell my daughter it's okay to go out and run outside, she may not want to go run and play with her friends right away, right? We want to feel safe, and we want to know that we're going to be in a good environment for that, right?
And being in a safe environment is so important. And in fairness to the Gen Zs and the millennials, they are incredibly respectful, I think, right now. They are very aware that they're living at home with older parents or grandparents, and they are keeping a distance.
Yeah.
I think it will change for every generation. And yet I'm also aware that what's happened to their dating life, we won't go there right now. But there's all those sort of aspects as well. You know, when is it safe for them to go out, as well as teenagers and 20s? And then, as you say, when do we feel comfortable? When is a place comfortable for us to sit and think, yeah, these are clean surfaces, they've been wiped down.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that we will get back to some sort of normal. It's what that normal is, and who knows what that normal is. We'll wait and see. Wait and see.
So let's talk about this, you know, this topic of entertainment in business. And it a bit feels to me like oil and water, jumbo shrimp. Like, wait a minute, entertainment and business? Help me understand, how do those things fit together, Sarah? And, you know, what role do you play in that?
Well, first of all, don't forget the phrase is show business, and many of our friends and colleagues forget the business and they do the show. So from the entertainer's point of view, they need to know there are two sides. The business is important. But from my point of view, I think, as we spoke earlier, you learn so much more when you're feeling relaxed, when you're feeling happy. And so I would encourage many organizations that are used to keynote speakers to think about motivational entertainers. So that's something that I get a lot of bookings for. They want hard content, but they want it put in a way that they can relate to, that they can have fun learning and watching. Okay. I'm going to call in my lovely husband, who's going to teach you a little trick. Yeah? The way that you learn these things. Oh,
is that like enter Keith, you know? Enter Keith. But wait, this way, enter Keith.
It's that moment of enjoyment, and you learn. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Fields.
I'm going to open this up. Round of applause for Keith. I feel like we need like the applause track right now. Like, don't you miss that, the applause track, you know?
Applause follows me wherever I go. So,
but Keith, you would agree there, wouldn't you?
I would always agree with you, my love. Whatever you've been saying, it was correct, I'm sure.
There you go. He was a very good husband to agree with his wife. Well, Keith, it's so nice to see you on this lovely, beautiful, sunny Friday. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Yes, just sitting in the office, catching up on a bit of paperwork, you know, just dressed casual.
Right. I know you were we just happened to catch you, and you're like, well, I might as well come into the camera, right?
Well, you can't keep a good extrovert down.
No, certainly not. But we were talking about that whole motivating and business and entertainment, and how people laugh and they learn at the same time.
And I think when you get a group of people laughing together, learning happens, and they kind of don't realize it's happening. And that's kind of the fun side of it. It's kind of people let their guard down a little bit when they're having a fun situation. And one of the things we say when we do our trainings on communications is good content can be killed by a bad presenter. And bad content can be made really interesting by a good presenter. So those skills are paramount. And of course, they're skills that we rely on. So,
and so we take people on a journey, and we take a company on a journey so that they learn and they're inspired and motivated as they go. But
and we like to check that people are paying attention. And I'm going to give you a quick test, Brenda.
Okay.
And Sheila's out there as well.
I have a few cards here, and I'm going to show you these cards, and I need you to remember everything you see. So it's a bit of a memory test. So you ready for this?
No, wait, are you asking me or the people that are watching?
No, I'm asking you.
When I look at the camera, I'm looking like up here, and then when I have to look at you, I have to look down.
Below, because I'm going to show you these cards, and you have to memorize them. Okay, you got it? Okay, there we go. Have you got them?
No, I can't see them.
No. That's what they are. Just memorize them.
They're just all white?
Yeah, well, I'll ask you the questions.
I'm not doing this very well. I can tell.
Right. We are being heckled by cameras. How many cards have I got?
I don't know. Was there 5 or 6?
Well, good. That deserves a round of applause.
Hurrah!
Okay.
Second,
Back. What was printed on the other side? What did you see on the other side?
I just saw all white. I didn't see anything.
Did you miss the Ace of Spades?
I didn't.
The last question's the easy one. What color are the backs of the cards?
What color are the backs of the cards? They're red.
They're red. You obviously missed the blue back right here, but
that was good.
not paying any attention at all. This one, I think we need to come back and try harder. Lesson number 2 will happen a bit later. in about 3 hours, I suppose, when we got over that one.
My daughter's sitting across from me, and she's learning. She's not really learning magic. She's interested by magic, and I just told her you did a really cool card trick.
Oh, you're gonna have to go back and watch it because I'm not allowed to do it again.
Yeah, she'll have to watch the replay later.
You're not allowed to repeat a trick. I'll see you later. I'm gonna leave you with Lady Sarah.
All right, thank you, Keith. It was nice to have you on. Appreciate
it. Never a dull moment around here.
Right?
Never a dull moment.
Oh, it seems like you guys have a lot of fun together. That's really important.
We do. And that's one of our taglines. When you were talking about pie, one of our taglines is to change the world one laugh at a time.
Oh, I love it.
And that's what we're there to do. We're there to inspire, to motivate, and to change the world. So we're working on it, Brenda. Not long to go now. We should do it soon.
Yeah. So what are you hearing? I mean, do you have bookings that are starting to happen now? Is it July, August? Are you hearing any rumblings of when people are starting to feel more comfortable with that, or are they still in a wait and see right now?
Yeah, they're still in a wait and see. I have bookings for next year for both theatres. The theatres are booking for next year.
Okay. And
I have corporates who are determined to hold big sales conferences and presentation events. So the big pizza companies want to have us in to talk about presentations. Great. So they will continue to work and trial that out. But I think, there's still that feeling that anything could happen. And they're being careful. They're being really careful. The news in the UK, for those of you who follow the British news, is that they may close the pubs until Christmas. Good grief.
Really?
Leave the British public without a drink.
That's crazy. Is that are you originally from the UK, Sarah, or where are you from originally?
We're originally from London.
Okay.
South London, a place called Greenwich.
Okay.
But this has been home now for 10 years. We're citizens. We love it. And the business community here is thriving and coming up with some incredible ideas, really creative ideas to deal with life at the moment.
Yeah, I bet. We're all kind of, this just threw us for a loop. And I don't think any of us thought in our business continuity planning to include pandemic preparedness and work from home and everything that goes along with it. But here we are, right? And but we're in the I've heard people talking about we're in the second phase right now, which is we're in the work from home, and we've been here for a couple weeks now, Sarah. I mean, we're kind of comfortable. We've got our home offices. We figured out how to navigate with our spouses in the other room, and dogs and cats climbing all over us as we got a conference call coming in. But then we've also, I don't know about you, but I feel like the longer we're in this place, we're starting now to reach out to connect with people. And whether it is through groups like the Troy Chamber, for some of the business aspects, or for the social aspects. They had an event yesterday it was a virtual happy hour, and it was trivia.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I'm trying to get like as much education and training and networking as I can right now. And I booked myself for a course development webinar yesterday at 4:00. And then I saw the Detroit Chamber on Facebook. They were like, hey, we're doing a virtual happy hour trivia contest. And I was like, yeah, you know what I really need right now is I need to not learn anymore today. I need to like not do business, and I just want to like hang out with my peeps from the Detroit Chamber and do a trivia contest. And there's, you go through, I know there's like the phases of grief and everything that we go through, but then there's a sense of like, I want a return to normalcy. And a part of that is I want to be entertained. I want just to do a trivia thing and just not think about what's happening in the world and are they going to extend the stay at home for another 2 weeks or what's going to happen. I just wanted a little bit of that outlet, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the joy of this new technology is that you connect with people all over the world. We're doing a murder mystery game night with one group of friends. There's 8 of us, and we meet up on a Friday night via Zoom. Zoom's taken on a whole new world. We do a quiz across 3 continents with my family. And as I say, we're still looking at doing talks and speaking to various organizations. But tell me, Brenda, I've got a question for you. How has your life changed, your family life? Have you got that work-life balance under control? Because
no, absolutely not, none. You're like, wait, you're waiting for this really poignant response. Like, hey, Charlotte, do you want to go grab that schedule from the refrigerator for me real quick? That printed color schedule. Go grab. So the first week when we were all working from home, there was this graphic that was floating around, and it was really cool because it created some structure in our day. And it was like, it's broken out. I'll show you here in a second, but it's broken out from 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon.
Nice.
About how to structure your day if you are home with school-age children. And I've got one child in elementary school, and my son is in high school. And my high school son, the biggest challenge, Sarah, is really like getting him out of bed in the morning. For him, he can sit up in his room and he can be occupied. My daughter, it's more structured. So this is, originally, did you guys see this floating around?
Look at that, COVID-19 daily schedule, color coordinated.
So look at this, before 9 a.m., wake up, and it goes through, I don't know if you can see, I'll share the link later, but before 9 a.m., wake up, 9 to 10, morning walk, 10 to 11, academic time, 11 to 12, creative time, 12, lunch. And it goes on every hour or around the half hour.
Well done.
So Charlotte, we did this for what? About a day or two, would you say? Like 2 days?
Well, not even a week.
She's like, a week, and then there was like the 3rd or 4th day we were supposed to do, instead of morning walk, we were doing morning yoga. And we got to like the 3rd or 4th day, and I'm like, oh, I got a call, I got to do it, I got to get a proposal out, I've got a couple things. And then all of a sudden, here I am, we look up and it's May 1st. And I'm like, we haven't been following that at all. And, I think all of us parents just have a greater level of appreciation for teachers and the work that they are putting in. And right now, the schools have just reconfigured everything to be completely online. My daughter's got all of her homework done for the day. My son, I'm going to have to go prod him a little bit more to get his assignments done. But it's challenging. And, for me, I'm used to working from home, but now I've got my family with me. And my husband had to kind of set up his home office, and he keeps moving it around, and he complains that I'm too loud when I'm on my phone calls.
He just said that.
My daughter's like, he just said that, I'm on location here at the Meller marketing household. I'm actually out in our Florida room in the back right now because it's so beautiful outside.
Yes, it is.
But it's a challenge. How about you guys? I mean, are you feeling like an adjustment from before, or does this feel normal to you? It's just more normal for
this is very normal for us in the way we run our home. So we have this studio, as it were. You can see Big Ben when you go for a larger shot behind us, and we always do our photographing and our videos. There's Big Ben looking gorgeous. We're on the south side of the Thames now. So we have that as a studio area. We have our office, obviously. Keith has the basement where he creates magic, because he sells magic as well to other magicians. So that hasn't changed. What's changed is we're normally on the road for a fair chunk of time. We're traveling all over the place. We'll do several weeks in California, several weeks in New York, and then literally everywhere in between. So that's changed. But actually, I quite like it in some ways. I've connected locally, a bit like you. I'm enjoying the new normal of the whole screen thing. We run a live broadcast, similar, slightly different to this because we're doing magic. We're not so sensible as you, Brenda.
So how do we find you if we want to look at your live broadcast? Can anybody sign up for that? Do they have to register? Where do we go?
It's called A Cup of Tea. It's live on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel and also on the Magic Soiree Facebook page and on the Magic Soiree website as well.
Okay. So I'm going to pull up your website here up on screen here, Sarah, and maybe you can help me to navigate to where could people go.
If you go straight down. Go down a bit. Look at this, Brenda. This is really high tech. Go on, keep going down the page.
Okay.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. And there it's live. So,
cup of tea. So what does the T stand for? Is the T literally tea, or is it like what?
T is for Tuesday, Thursday, and Troy at 2 o'clock. So we've been introducing local guys. All sorts of wonderful people, and then we have a magic trick at the end as well. And this is the actual theatre show that we run. So,
look at you.
But the interesting thing on one of our guests, just going back to you as a mum as well, was a teacher that we had in, a middle school teacher who came and talked to us about, what it's like being a teacher, teaching your kids, how much they're missing the kids, but also to actually make life a bit fun for them at home too, so that they don't hate learning. And that really hit home to me. This is the only time you'll probably homeschool, as it were, but being at home with them. And so that was a great time for us. And then of course we had the lovely Anne Percy on this week, who many of you know from the Troy Chamber, again from State Farm. John Cole runs Atlas Foods, which has an incredible story. He normally delivers food to all the restaurants. They probably have 40 or 50 restaurants, so that they deliver all the food to 400 restaurants and casinos, and of course that's all gone downhill, so he's changed up his business model now. So it's been great fun, and as I say, then Mike Thornton came on and did some magic. So this is a bi-weekly thing that we're doing. Great fun, just brings in a new dynamic. But not about LinkedIn. Holy
moly. You gotta try to apply for LinkedIn Live, because you could broadcast it on LinkedIn too, right?
I think you have to be very special to do LinkedIn Live.
You are special. That's why I think you should. And they're always looking for different people to come and join the platform. I think they're looking for people who have live video experience, but I think who bring a different topic to the platform as well. And I think they're, going back to our topic, I think there's definitely a role for entertainment and business. And I hear some people, every now and again, I hear people saying, LinkedIn feels like it's becoming more like Facebook. And I'm like, well, in some aspects, I think the platforms are all mirroring each other, mimicking each other a little bit. But I think even on LinkedIn, it's okay to have some levity sometime, to show pictures of your family, to tell a little joke here and there. I saw one the other day, and it was like a guy was doing, it was a water bottle or a glass of water in a wine glass, and he was kind of playing it around the rim. And then the second was with gin and tonic, and he played it, and it was playing a symphony. And it was hilarious. But I'm like, you know what? We need to laugh a little bit in the midst of our business too. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that LinkedIn is a great business resource that people don't appreciate enough, actually. I think it truly is. But yes, you're right. At the end of the day, we need to laugh more, Brenda. Yeah. We love that. We love laughter. And you've got some great people who laugh at the chamber. I was going to say your comments up there. You've got people like Sheila.
Yeah, so let me throw a couple.
Sheila's a fantastic resource. Honestly, she's a great resource. I love this woman.
Sheila's a sweetheart. She's just awesome. And I can't think of what her tagline on her LinkedIn says. It's something like, yes, I can help with that, or something, which is totally Sheila.
So again, that's a really fascinating discussion to have with Sheila about how she brings in new business with the chamber. I know are you speaking to her in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, I think I'm on, I don't know when the next chamber happy hour. I think, isn't it Cinco de Mayo? They're doing a happy hour networking.
Okay. So she's a fascinating resource, and how she's changed and adapted. You must have found this, Brenda. People are adapting all the time with this new normal. And I love that. The creative aspect of what people are doing.
Yeah.
There we go. Paul Sherwood.
Yeah, Paul Sherwood. And then Chris Garrity, who's one of my former colleagues at Walsh. He says he's outside taking a walk. And Charlotte, you got a shout out too from Chris Garrity. He says, hi, Charlotte. Yeah. Hello. So thank you, Sheila, for joining us. So what I would like to do at this point, guys, is I'll just remind you, if you would like to join us and leave a comment. If you leave it on Facebook, I can pull your comments on screen. But if you're on LinkedIn, Sarah, I'm going to take a second just right now. I'm going to see who's commenting and who's online with us today. And I'll just invite you, if you haven't already dropped a comment, to drop one in the comments below here for two reasons. One is if you know me or you know Sarah, it always makes us feel good when we see comments from people in our network. Two, if you comment here, I will give your name a shout out. So you'll be like a celebrity on my LinkedIn Live.
Wow.
Right?
You've made it, people. Don't worry about WXYZ.
15 minutes of fame is waiting for you. Come on out, right?
We're going to bring out that presenter in you.
And if you have any questions for Sarah about this topic of entertainment and marketing, you know, or entertainment and business rather, let us know. So we are international, Sarah. We have Ahmed joining us from Egypt here this morning. Hi, Ahmed. Afternoon, I should say.
Wow. Hi.
Yeah.
How's life out there? I bet that's an interesting dilemma.
Ansala is joining us. How are you? We have Aisha from Beverly Hills, Michigan. Says, hi, neighbor. Is that somebody you know?
I don't know. Beverly Hills. I'm not over in Beverly Hills.
No, Beverly Hills. I may be high neighbor because we're in Michigan, perhaps.
Oh, there we go. Yes, lovely. Yes, we are in Michigan, definitely. Although Big Ben behind me doesn't show that.
Right. It looks a little different. We have Vicki Servan Estelle joining us from Troy, Michigan. I believe Vicki is a Troy Chamber member as well. Nice to see you.
Perfect. It is a great resource. I cannot push the chamber enough. I think it's a great time.
Yeah. Good group. We have Paris joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. We have Marianne from Orlando. Hello, hello. We have Kelly Ann Holcomb, who is a fellow Troy Chamber member. Do you know Kelly? I think she's with, is it Fogo de Chao?
Yes. Now that's interesting because we're getting dinner from Fogo de Chao tonight.
Am I pronouncing it correctly? I've only been there once, and I always feel like when I say the name, is it Fogo de Chao? Is that right?
I don't want to pronounce it because I think I do it quite badly.
What is your daughter? Is your daughter in the background who's correcting us?
She is. In fact, she's actually just commented right now. Felicity Harfield is my daughter who does all my PR as well. We look quite similar.
I got you on camera.
It's Fogo de Chao.
Fogo de Chao. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a sh sound instead of ch. I worked there for a short period of time.
Can I just say this is what a Michigan University education does? You can pronounce these words.
Well, thank you for jumping on the camera and helping with us there. So check out Fogo de Chao. It sounds like we still have pickups.
Yes, great.
And,
pickups.
Good group. So we've also got Tina Marie Woolfield. Hi, Tina Marie. We did Tina Marie and I met today for a social distancing coffee. If you have not done this yet, this was awesome. Back in the day, we used to have virtual coffees where we'd like not meet in person and we'd have our cup of coffee and drink and talk over the phone. Now we met for a social distancing coffee. So we went through the Tim Hortons drive-through and then we parked in the Meyer parking lot outside, a car distance apart. So we were like probably 10 to 12 feet apart. And we rolled our windows down and we chatted for about an hour. And it was so nice to see a fellow human being that wasn't in front of a video screen and to have like a normal conversation.
Perfect. You see, you're so responsible. Can I just bring up, well, I can't bring them up, but on Facebook, you've got Christopher Johnson, who said my Second City training proved
Let's pull that up. So, do you know Christopher?
I don't believe I do, but I do know about improvisation, and I've done many an improvisation course and many shows with even with the local one over in Ferndale. Mm-hmm. Great bunch of folk over there. And improvisation is a great tool in business. Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer in continued education, whether it be at college or otherwise, but I'm also a firm believer in things like Toastmasters, improvisation, that sort of thing. They can be invaluable for you to learn how, not even to be an extrovert by any means, but just to how to present yourself. So important. You may know all the facts and figures.
Were we in a Toastmasters group together, Sue, Sarah? Because I was involved with the
first. That's another time. Oh my goodness, we do everything together, Brenda.
Well, where was it? Was it the one that met at Walsh, or where was
Walsh? Right. Yes.
Okay. So it was back in the day. So for those who aren't familiar with Toastmasters, Sarah, can you describe the group?
Yes, well, it's an international group, so it's all over the world, but it teaches you various steps. It teaches you how to use everything from vocal variety when you're speaking, so you don't be monotone. It teaches you how to use props correctly, as opposed to trying to pull things up and hold things in front of your face. it gives you the opportunity just to speak on any subject. Sometimes we talk about an icebreaker where you're literally just talking for 6 minutes about yourself. And you know, Brenda, that's the hardest thing for many people to do, is to just talk about themselves for 6 minutes without umming and ahhing and you will see that some of my greatest friends in performance have mastered that ability not to and ah. And yet you get folk in front of the Oscars or at the big awards ceremonies and they're blubbering away and there's too many ahs and ums, and just dreadful.
And I'm hearing some of the Toastmasters clubs are now offering clubs online. So,
so you can,
folks who are, you know, really looking for the benefits of Toastmastering, if you will, learning that art of public speaking, communication, leadership skills, they're available. And it's something I went through the program for about 5 years. My career started to take off, and I didn't have the time, but I did earn a couple of certifications. I got my CC and my CL. Sarah, how about you? Do you remember what you?
Yeah, no, I've done both of those, and actually I'm still doing the online courses as well, just to keep my hand in. Yeah. Because it, as I say, it is a great way of doing it. And our Toastmaster group meets here, well, obviously virtually now, in Troy. Find them online, toastmasters.org, and you will find your local one.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
Where was your group meeting prior to? Was it still meeting at Walsh, or did you join another club, or where?
No, I stayed with the. Well, I'm still part of them, but they no longer meet at Walsh, and I can't think of the location that they meet at. But as I say, they're online now. It is a great way. The other thing that, of course, they do is how to run a meeting. How many times have we been into a meeting when one person speaks? Or you go over time, all those classic things of just keeping in time, learning your ums and ahs, your grammatical errors. Yes. Great format. And as I say, Go Comedy in Ferndale, if you want to do a bit of improvisation and have stuff on the camera.
And people, I mean, us people off the street, I can come and go to a Go Comedy event, right? Or go through a course there. I'm not even sure what the words are. Do I sign up for? Do I register?
Yeah.
I was like a mere mortal human, not somebody who's in the entertainment field, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
You can sign up for that, but it'll teach you all sorts of things. Again, we did a little thing for WXYZ. You'll see it on the Magic Soiree Facebook under our advertising part on just how to be on Zoom, just to be how to present on Zoom, and those sort of topics are things we need to think about now with this.
And as we're in this phase right now, I feel like, you know, what I'm hearing too is even as we come back from where we are and we are out and back in public, I think there's still going to be a continued need for platforms. I think this has now become an acceptable platform. Whereas before it felt kind of intrusive. Why do I need to be on video talking to you? Well, now because we need to see other human beings and have eye contact with them. But little things like, you know, as I was talking earlier, when I'm looking at my camera, I'm making eye contact with you right now by looking at my camera. If I want to see Keith doing a magic trick, I had to look down at my screen. And as I'm looking down at my phone, checking for comments on LinkedIn, I have to look down and I'm breaking eye contact. So it's little things like it feels very weird for me to look at this camera for as long as I'm doing right now, but this is how I'm making eye contact with you. And it's you know, the more of these I do, the more I'm realizing as I watch the playbacks, I'm like, oh, that didn't look good. I was like looking around. I wasn't making eye contact with Sarah during
the other thing you realize as well is, you know, you can get yourself too far up the screen and then you're just looking at somebody's chest, which is down here, or you're looking down at the camera. You need to think of where you are in the screen. And as you say, you're looking down right now, but it does mean when you're in a meeting, I was in a meeting with about 30 other people the other day, and you can see them, and you can see those people who are flicking through their phone. Yeah. And this is incredibly rude for the presenter. He can see you. Yeah. And you're looking at your phone the whole time. Or people are blowing their nose and, you know, eating a sandwich, and you think.
And for me, it's like every now and again, I'm like having a little sip of my lemonade. But hold on, you know.
That's fine, but you're not making big slurping noises, Brenda. If you're making slurping noises, we'd be worried.
Right.
Worried. So you need to think about that, and this is going to be a part of our lives for a long time to come. A long time to come.
It definitely will. And, you know, the good thing is we have people like you in the world, Sarah, who remind us it's okay to laugh. It's okay to smile. I do want to just put a final plug out here for the Troy Chamber. I feel like this broadcast of LinkedIn Live was brought to you by the Troy Chamber. Actually, actually, what happened, you guys, was I was on the Troy Chamber networking online event a while back, and Sarah was one of the people on there, and I hadn't been into a Troy Chamber for a while, and we were going around the room, we were all introducing ourselves, and I think it was Sheila who said, like, what's one challenge you're facing because of COVID, and then what was the other thing? One thing you'd like to ask of the group. I don't know what it was. There was 2 questions. But I kind of talked about, you know, my business and how it's been impacted. And then I said, hey, I'm doing more LinkedIn Lives. If any of you fellow Troy Chamber members would like to join me in a live broadcast sometime, we'll have some fun. We'll have a conversation. And there was like, I mean, I don't know, there's probably like 15 or 20 people on that session, but, you know, I think 2 or 3 people reached out to me. Yeah. And I've scheduled all 3 of them now. And Sarah being the final person on the session here. But we've had really great conversations about different topics and about their businesses and how they're being impacted. And my whole philosophy right now, Sarah, is how can I use my gifts and talents to help others? You know, okay, so my business, like yours, we're a little bit paused right now, but what can we do to help others in the meantime? And I think, you know, having conversations like we're having today is one way of doing that, right?
Absolutely. And I think we're in a privileged position, Brenda. We mustn't forget that we can give back, and we do have some spare time and spare resources. And I think being part of a lively community that we are in Troy and Southeast Michigan, that we need to give back, and we need to give this time to other people. And if we can help with our coaching, with making people laugh, with bringing in a little magic, then that's what it's about. It's giving back right now, because people are truly suffering, and some of us are able to do that.
Yeah, we do what we can. And as we kind of start to wind and close down the interview here, Sarah, I'm just going to pop your LinkedIn URL. Let's see if I can point to it right here on the screen.
There I am.
Sarah's LinkedIn, and I will tag her in the comments a little bit later so you guys can go and visit her profile. Sarah, are you open to accepting new invitation requests from people on the platform?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always.
All right. Good. And then any final comments for the group, or, you know, tips, shout outs, anything else you'd like to offer before we close this off here?
I suppose if I was to be honest with you, Brenda, this is a strange time, and we have no idea how this is going to turn out. But I think we have to find hope and positivity somewhere. And I do that through our Gen Z and millennial children, by the fact that they're positive. Life will go on. It'll be different to what we know, but it's going to go on. And for you with your younger children, things will change, but they're going to keep going. It's going to be okay. And we have to just learn to adapt somehow and keep smiling, keep laughing, people.
There you go. Keep those smiles going all the time. So thank you so much, Sarah. I just want to remind everybody before you leave here today, if you haven't already done so, go to mellermarketing.com, subscribe. You'll join my VIP email list, where I will announce future speakers in this series, as well as I do some LinkedIn strategy tips and stuff, other stuff in there. Thank you so much, Sarah. It was such a pleasure speaking with you today. I had such a lovely time, and tell Keith and your daughter as well, and thank them for joining us today here too.
Brenda, thank you. Thank you, people out there. Keep you're doing a good job, a truly good job.
All right, great. And if you happen to be watching this in playback still, leave a comment below. Let Sarah know that you're watching, and do connect with her on LinkedIn, guys. All right, thanks so much, and have a wonderful afternoon, and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Cheerio.